Hey, what's up you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of this week's episode of DC's Legends of Tomorrow on the CW, which was episode 5 of season 3 called Return of the Mack. And you guys know, I liked last week's episode quite a bit, Phone Home, which was like a great, E.T., very much E.T. kind of episode. With going back to when... Excuse me. Okay, yeah. Anyway, going back to when, of course, Brendan Routh's character was a kid, and, of course, Ray Palmer. I don't know why I couldn't come up with his name for a second or two there. Back to when Ray was a kid, and, we get Nick flirting with his mom, everything else like that. A surprisingly touching and charming story with the little alien dominator, which is kind of nice. In this week's episode, it was kind of like a Halloween episode as well, but this week sort of continued that trend, and I was pretty damn excited about it, because it's a couple centuries ago, and vampires potentially. So, if you guys know the rest of my channel at all, you'll know I'm a pretty big horror fan. I love vampire movies, except, certain ones, obviously. So when it looked like Legends was doing an episode about a vampire apparition or something like that, it got me pretty excited. And this week's episode, while I liked it, it sort of let me down on that end, because it turned out it wasn't really a vampire that was really occurring there. It was apparently the resurrection of Damien Darhk again. And I do like Neal McDonough. I think he's one of the better villains out of the Arrowverse. But it is getting a little bit repetitive with him at this point. We have the promise of a new villain with Mallus, and I am starting to buy into him a little bit more. I like him possessing the woman at the end. And by the way, the woman that was doing like the seance and all that, for some reason I forget her name, but she's been on Supernatural recently. She was on Dexter, a bunch of other stuff. So that was pretty good. It reminded me of like a Penny Dreadful scene. Penny Dreadful, one of the best shows of all time, by the way. Eva Green right over there. But it was a pretty good episode. I still like seeing them in that kind of era, with that kind of clothing as always. Meanwhile, we also have the return of Rip Hunter, who appears to really want to rely on the Legends again, although, as you see at the end, it's too good to be true. He had another agenda. But it does still seem like a bit of a jump that we'd see him... apparently having another plan for the Legends at the start of the season, and, have his whole Time Bureau set up. Now he's running from the Time Bureau, sort of, or going so off books again, and wanting to work with the rest of the Legends, so he missed it. I don't know, these character jumps are a bit much once in a while, I think. What was hilarious, though, is Mick reading Dracula. I appreciated that. He looked, distinguished and intelligent, with his pair of glasses there. He was on the last page right towards the end of the episode. And I especially like the joke about him apparently always carrying a stake with him, for his entire life. My entire life. He seems so dedicated, there's this whole weight we never knew that he had. He was just ready to kill a vampire if he had to. He had a sense of what's coming. And unfortunately, it didn't really come this episode. Again, that was one of my disappointments just as a horror fan. But I like Sarah's questioning of Rip, and, Rip sort of, ripping them off again at the end of the episode. It feels a little bit repetitive with, again, Rip right now, but I still found it to be pretty enjoyable. Damien Darhk isn't a bad villain whatsoever, but, again, repetitive with him being brought back. But I still thought the episode had some fun to it. We also had, more about Zari and, her connection with Amaya coming out, which was pretty good. And then we also had, excuse me, I just want to graze over something to make sure I don't miss anything I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. Professor Stein, we see one of his ancestors, being the one to try and build up the, apparently Damien Darhk's power, but it's also connected to Mallus. And forgive me, I was a little bit tuned out in this week's episode, once I figured out there's no vampire, so sorry if I get some things wrong. So that was fun. And meanwhile, we had Jefferson and Ray talking more about separating them, himself from Martin. He also brings up the time that he had sex, and then Professor Stein congrats him. Gives him some congratulations afterwards. Saying, "Well done, Jefferson," because they share a psychic connection. So it's a little bit weird. Let's see. Yeah, not much more to say about the episode. Besides the news, apparently Wentworth Miller is going to be exiting the Arrowverse. Of course, he has played Captain Cold, Leonard Snart. We haven't seen him consistently for quite a while. He had a kind of a different kind of read on villain role last season. But I guess he's going to be making his last appearances coming up this season on The Flash and Arrow. I think that's what it is anyway. I'm kind of curious about how they're going to do it, and it's a shame that he died all the way back in Season 1 of Legends. He was one of the best characters on the show while he was on, and I just hope they give him an interesting send-off. I don't want it to be an alternate version of him. I want him to somehow remember his time with the Legends, and I don't know. And it'd feel repetitive if he just remembered then died immediately afterward, but I don't know, we'll see how they do it. But yeah, overall, Return of the Mack, I thought it was a fine episode. The villain is a little bit promising. I think he'll definitely end up being better than like your Vandal Savage of Season 1. But it'll be interesting to see if Season 3 can seem as well put together as Season 2 was for me. But we'll see. I still did enjoy this episode, don't get me wrong. I'm giving it about an 8.5, 8.6 out of 10. I don't know what you guys thought about it. Perhaps bring up some other things about the episode that I didn't talk about. We can talk about more for sure. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.